Listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year.
He said to his friend, if the British march by land or sea from the town tonight, hang the lantern aloft in the belfry arch of the North Church Tower as a signal light.
One it by land and two it by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be, ready to ride and spread the alarm to every Middlesex village and farm, for the country folk to be up into arm.
Perfect as easeful night, and Moffrey
silently rowed to the Charleston shore, just as the moon rose over the bay, where swinging wine at her moorings lay. The Somerset British man-of-war, a phantom ship with each mast and spar, across the moon like a prison bar, and a huge black hulk that was magnified by its own reflection in the tide.
Meanwhile his friend through alley and street wanders and watches with eager ears, till in the silence around him he hears the muster of men at the barrack door.
The sound of arms and the tramp of feet, and the measured tread of grenadiers, marching down to their boats on the shore.
Then he climbed the tower of the old North Church by the wooden stairs with stealthy tread to the belfry chamber overhead, and startled the pigeons from their perch on the sombre rafters that round him made masses in moving shape for shade.
By the trembling ladder steep and tall to the highest window in the wall, where he paused to listen and look down, a moment on the roofs of the town, and the moonlight flowing over all.
Beneath in the churchyard lay the dead, and their night encampment on the hill, wrapped in silence so dim and still that he could hear like sentinel's tread. The watchful night wind as it went, creeping along from 10 to 10, and seeming to whisper all is well. A moment only he feels the spell of the place and the hour and the secret dread, in the lonely belfry and the dead, for suddenly all his thoughts are bent on a shadowy something far away, where the river winds to meet the bay, a line of black that bends and floats on the rising tide like a bridge of boats.
Meanwhile, impatient to mount and ride, Boone spurred with a heavy stride. On the opposite shore went Paul Revere. Now he patted his horse's side, now gazed at the landscape far and near.
Then impetuous stamped the earth and turned to tighten his saddle girth, but mostly watched with eager search the belfry tower of the old North Church.
As it rose before the graves on the hill, lonely and sparks so somber and still, and low as he looks on the belfry's height, a glimmer and gleam of light, but lingers and gazes to a full sight. A second lamp of the belfry burns, I hurry of the house in the village street, a shape in the moonlight, a bulk in the dark.
And beneath from the pebbles in passing the spark struck out by sea, flying fierce and fleet. Though was all yet through the gloom and the light, the fate of a nation was riding that night, and the spark struck out by that steed in his flight kindled the land into flame with its heat.
He has left the village and mounted the steep, and beneath him tranquil, broad and deep is the mystic meeting the ocean tides, and under the alders that skirt its edge, that soft in the sand, that loud in the ledge, is heard the tramp of the steed as he rides. It was 12 by the village clock when he crossed the bridge into Medford town. He heard the crowing of the cock and the barking of the farmer's dog, and felt the damp river fog that rises after the sun goes down.
It was 1 by the village clock when he galloped into Lexington. He saw the gilded weathercock swim in the moonlight as he passed, and the meeting house windows, blank and bare, gazed at him with spectral glare, as if they already stood aghast at the bloody work they would look upon.
It stood by the village clock when he came to the bridge in Concord town. He heard the bleating of the flock and the twitter of birds among the trees, and felt the breath of the morning breeze.
Blowing over the meadows brown, and one was safe and asleep in his bed, who at the bridge would be first to fall, who that day would be lying dead, pierced by a British musket ball.
You know the rest in the books you have read, how the British regulars fought and fled, how the farmers gave them ball for ball, from behind each fence and farmyard wall, chasing the redcoats down the lane, then crossing the fields to emerge again, under the trees at the turn of the road, and only pausing to fire and load.
So through the night rode Paul Revere, and so through the night went his cry of alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. A cry of defiance and not of fear, a voice in the darkness that knocked at the door, and a word that shall go forevermore.
For born on the night when of the past through all our history to the last, in the hour of darkness and peril and need, the people will awaken and listen to hear the hurrying hoofbeats of that steed in the midnight mist of Paul Revere.